So this week, Just Stop Oil attacked Stonehenge, the 5,000-year-old monument. I think it's a lot of anger that it has created, understandably, but also a lot of head scratching. People are thinking, what the hell does Stonehenge have to do with oil? I mean, Tom, are there any targets that are sort of safe from Just Stop Oil
I was
now?
thinking that because Stonehenge is a useful metaphor for this, because after Stonehenge, throwing soup at Van Gogh, any of these other things
Smashing
that
up
they've done.
Magna Carta.
Smashing up Magna Carta. I forgot those two elderly ladies who... It was one of the most kind of accidentally comical stunts that they've done yet. It was adorable. I remember when they were passing each other the glue to glue themselves together, I thought they were maybe passing a Werther's original. But it was, yes, the Stonehenge thing is a reminder that for these people, nothing is sacred, quite literally. And there's this kind of sense in which, in a coherent fashion, that because they genuinely believe the world is about to end and that anyone who isn't throwing themselves on the gears of the machine now is complicit in what they literally call a genocide. I mean, you were pointing this out earlier, they want Rishi Sunak to basically be tried for genocide because of his continued use of fossil fuels. It's in a sense that it makes sense that they would do absolutely anything to try and grab that attention. What's so striking to me is that how any sort of patience for them, not just among the public, because that disappeared pretty quickly as soon as these groups came on the scene, but even amongst the great and good, the Labour Party, the media, that's just gone now. So you do think, what could they possibly do next? What treasured ancient site, artifact, artwork are they going to go after? Because all bets are off now, it feels like, on some level. But
yeah, Timandra, what have you made of it?
Well, it just absolutely reveals that this is the character of political campaigning now. It's not about how do you get results. If you actually wanted to win over support to your programme of very radical cuts in fossil fuels and very deep and radical environmental policy changes, you would try to win support to your cause instead of apparently methodically pissing off absolutely everybody in turn. So, as you said, they long ago pissed off ordinary people who just want to get about and get their relatives to hospital and so on, and apparently not caring about that. And then they said they would target holiday flights, just, in case there was anyone who was still sympathetic. And then now they've not only done Stonehenge, which clearly is going to outrage a lot of very old school caring about the environment people, but then they went on to target Taylor Swift's private jet. So now the Swifties hate them as well.
That's always a bad move.
It's like if you were setting out to make the maximum number of people hate you so that you could say everybody hates us because we are martyrs and the only people who have the truth and are going to be martyred for the truth, this would be your strategy. So I have to conclude that this is in fact their strategy, and they don't want to win any support to their cause. What they want is to be a small group of martyrs that everybody else hates.
Yeah, I mean, it resembles more of a cult, I would say, than a political movement. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly in terms of the doomsday narrative.
Yeah,
I mean, it is worth looking at what they actually say and the sort of messages they're being fed. We've written about it from time to time.
Yeah,
stuff that Roger Hallam, who's the kind of Charles Manson resembling alleged brain behind the whole operation, he's preaching this idea that it is basically like a Mad Max style dystopia, this way in which everything will go to hell in a handcart. It will just be kind of smouldering cities full of marauding, violent rape. This is the stuff he's telling these kids.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that they react in this way, but I completely agree with you, Timandra. They're just the most extreme example of where so much faux progressive campaigning has gone now, which is that it's all about them. I am on the right side of history. I am virtuous. I'm wonderful. And none of you idiots get it. The pretense that they're winning people over or trying to create changes there, but it's surely they must realise it's going to push everything in the opposite direction. You do start to wonder if they're like a fossil fuel industry plant. That's the only plausible explanation for their antics.
Funded by the Getty family, for former oil billionaires. Maybe there's a connection, but I think that's more because they're sort of giving penance for their old sins. But who knows? Timandra, you want to add anything finally on Just Stop Oil?
I just think that it's completely revealing about the state of modern politics, that it is all about projecting your identity and not at all about trying to achieve change. I mean, the demands that they have are completely unrealistic. Although, as you say, if you believe the world's about to end, then nothing else matters. But it's very easy, isn't it? It's like the old sci-fi films where the world has ended and therefore all the problems become very simple and the moral choices become very simple. If the world's really about to end, the moral choices become very simple. You're either with us or against us. But the world's not about to end.
And most of us are really not with them.